wish you knew.
The month of June is all about rains and rainbows. While the rains wash away the dirt on the roads, I think it's time that we wash away all our misconceptions about the Pride community and finally be able to see the rainbow. Superhits 93.5 Red FM पर this is Red Adda मेरे यानी प्रिया के साथ and joining me at the Red FM studios is Srini. Srini is an engineer and he's been a part of the queer community Bangalore for more than 20 years now, and he's the perfect person to start off my show. So first of all, thank you so much Srini for accepting my invite and coming here to share your voice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Priya, for reaching out and then asking me to speak. Yeah, it's a bit new to me to speak outside the community first time, but I'll try my best to keep it simple and to make sure a lot of us are we can connect with a lot of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think the whole idea is that we're all here together. God has created all of us, and it's just on us to be able to live accepting each other just peacefully, just like the Pride community has accepted us. We need to accept them, so that's how it works, right?
Yes.
So to start off, I want to begin with your story. How did it all begin for you?
My story, it's a lot of ups and downs. So during the first few years, it's mostly downs, you can say. See, back in 2005, I was in my early 20s. There is hardly anything that that is openly accepting of queer in both the media as well as in the society in general.
Yeah.
I had faced a lot of homophobia in my college, even though I'm from a very premier institute in India.
Yeah.
Like very, very premier, but still, things are no different there.
Yeah.
They're part of the same society. So that was a time where I had completely filled myself with hatred and shame
About yourself.
about myself. I haven't accepted myself, and moreover, I was a lot worried about being from a conservative family. I was worried about the family name and how my parents will react if I come out as queer person, or to be precise, I'm gay. So at that point in time, in 2005, I've searched for resources online, and it's not the resources that I was searching for was not about being accepting myself. Rather, I was searching for how do I become normal.
Oh my God.
So-called normal. So so that's when I had come across Swabhava NGO, and then I called up, and then
Swabhava NGO.
NGO,
Okay.
which is also associated with Good as a support group.
Okay.
So Vinay is a counselor there. So I called him up and said, by the way, I think there's something wrong with me. I don't get attracted to girls. I get attracted to boys. So do you have any tablets with you, which you can give me, and then I can become normal? That's the question I asked.
And I'm pretty sure that people who don't have access to information react exactly like this.
Exactly.
I will share something, maybe it'll put you in comfort. As women also, growing up, we were never taught about periods. So there's a big chance that, when that puberty hits, a lot of the girls, even till today, do not even know that something like this happens to every single girl. And she is probably there looking for tablets to correct her periods.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So Vinay has of course said, there is no such thing. But if you want, why don't you come over? We'll have a counseling session and then see. And then I went. Then he kept saying homosexuality is the natural variant of all the sexualities, but then I didn't believe, and then because that's not what society has told me. I was so much ingrained with homophobia. I told no, I mean, like I don't really agree with you, etc. Then he told, okay, why don't you attend? There is this Good As You meetings
Yeah.
that happens every Thursday. A lot of gay and bisexual men meet there. Of course, it's open for all the identities slowly over the years, but at that point in time, mostly gay and bisexual men used to meet.
Oh.
And he asked me to come to the meeting.
Yeah.
So I went to the meeting, and people were very confident there. They were accepting of their sexuality, and but somehow I did not associate with them
Yeah.
because I in my mind I thought, these are all big city people, who may be coming from families who don't care about
Yeah.
their sexuality, etc. So I did ask them, like, which one of you wants to enter into traditional marriage,
Yeah.
or any of you want to
That's
live
a
life that you want.
that's a very great point. Traditional marriage. I think that is where most of them start wondering that is this the right path for me? So okay, what was the response that you got?
Yeah, so it was a mixed response. At that point in it was 2005, remember, a lot of them said, oh, I don't want to enter into traditional marriage, but I know it's not accepting here, so I will just go abroad.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then some people have said that, there's nothing wrong with what we are, so we don't have to really get into a traditional marriage and
Yeah.
things like that. I mean, to be frank, I was not completely convinced, so I stopped going after that meeting. Right?
I like how you're honest about it. Okay.
Yes, yes. Because in my mind, I thought, okay, these are all bunch of posh people. I'm not posh. I'm from a very,
Conservative
conservative
family.
family from a very small town. My town is in Telangana, and this thing won't work for me.
Right.
So then I was in real search of medical or psychological way to convert myself, and that's when I reached out to one of the famous national government mental health institute in Bangalore, and that's where I had gone through almost 8 to 9 months of conversion therapy.
There is an actual conversion therapy
There
that
is
they
an
offer.
actual conversion therapy that people used to offer. Now
Now it's no longer there.
it's no longer there.
Thankfully, yeah.
The medical science have like banned it, and even Psychological Association of India has banned it and all. But there
Superb.
used
I'm
to
so
be.
glad to know.
There used to be, and
You've attended that for 8 to 9 months.
yes, and it
Okay.
was mostly coming out of self-hatred. I want to convert myself. I mean, I would, I would give them that benefit of this thing that the psychologist did tell that, by the way, it's okay to have, a sexuality that is different from what is considered normal.
Yeah.
But if you really want, we can try this.
I love that.
Yeah.
So they did give you, they did try to make you aware that
They did
maybe,
give.
okay.
And then, of course, I had gone through it. There are a lot of things in that. Thankfully, I did not go through shock therapy, which many people in queer community have gone through forcefully with their parents and families. Thankfully, I had not gone. Mine was a very
Therapy.
Yes, people do give shock therapy to convert. For Bangalore people, this all passed, but it's still happening in remote areas in
I can
Kerala,
imagine. Yeah.
in Andhra, and a lot of especially small towns. There are psychiatrists who practice that, and um,
So these are medical doctors who are practicing shock therapy.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
For something that is a norm of the nature.
Exactly. So because what they have studied, whatever 50 years back, 100 years back,
Yeah.
the books were not updated, but things have changed in last 10, 20, 30 years. American Psychological Association has changed, has told, that it's a natural variant, both gender as well as sexuality, gender differences as well as sexuality. Things have changed a lot now on the books, especially.
Yeah.
And even in India, in Madras High Court especially, is like very supportive of our rights and
Nice.
telling. Yeah, so that's how my journey started, and then of course
So after the conversion therapy
has failed.
Yeah, that failed, and then what happened?
Then I realized, okay, it's time I start my journey of self-acceptance.
How nice. And hopefully by listening to this story of yours, you are cutting short someone else's this wrong way wala
exactly.
journey. You're cutting it short, and probably they'll be on the right path sooner.
Right. So
Nice.
being from a very technical background,
Yeah.
I was not so much into religion. Okay, so this conversion therapy is a very non-religious one, but at the same time, there are enough religious conversion therapies happening in all religions.
Oh.
Yeah, in Hindus, people go to those babas and they do stuff like that, and in Christianity, people do so. All kind of things are
So
happening.
all religions have their own version of the
Yes.
conversion
Yeah,
therapy.
and then there
Great.
was a secular conversion therapy, but none of them works.
Right. Because
Of
it's
course,
like
because
you're trying to go against nature. Like
yeah,
we human
it's
beings think
innate. Yeah, what
we human beings think that we can challenge nature and modify anything and everything that we want. Wow.
of course. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it's a long journey for me because self-acceptance itself took,
Absolutely.
years. Then coming out to my parents. Then, but in this journey, going to the Good As You meetings, being part of the community, different events. There's a pride. There is a film festival every year. So all of this have helped me, to become confident with my own self and start the journey.
Okay, superb. So now let's talk about the time when you officially became a part of Good As You and you started, accepting yourself. How did the community show you support over there? What was different from what you did not have and what you got at Good As You?
What I realized, over the years of being with the community, if I'm surrounded by people who accept, the sexuality and gender variations
Yeah.
and look at it normally, that is when deep in my mind, my self starts accepting it. So just being around someone who treats that it is normal,
Yeah.
the moment we go outside, things are different. Right.
Yeah.
So just being with them, and it's not like we talk about it every day. It's not like we debate whether something is natural or not every day. Just living ourselves,
Yeah.
just seeing somebody else live their normal self and their normal life on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
That itself gives confidence to us that, oh yeah, I mean, this is normal. We can live this way, and and people are happy living this way.
Right.
Right.
So it's more like when you are surrounded by people who are just like you,
Exactly.
you sort of do not feel the need to tell them about your challenges. You know that they already know your challenges.
Exactly.
So being with them makes you feel like you are at home.
Exactly.
And when you step out, what if if you don't mind, tell me what is that difference that you find when you are in that community having those events and meetings and everything, and then when you step out, what is the difference?
See, the difference that we feel when we step out into the world depends mainly on our identity, in the sense, see, being a gay man, the biggest problem for me when I step out is people asking me, when are you getting married? Okay, but if somebody with gender variations, they step out, for them the biggest thing people ask is, why are you wearing such clothes? Why are you having a hair like that?
Yeah.
Why can't you be normal? Why can't you behave normally?
Yeah.
This is what we face on a daily basis.
I'll tell you this. We are filled with a world where everybody is imperfect, yet everybody tries to ask someone else, ki, why are you not perfect?
I mean, a lot of people think uniformity is perfect, but it's not. Diversity is what is perfect, in my opinion. It's not uniformity.
Can you please look at the camera and say the same thing? I love that line. Okay.
Yeah, it's uniformity is not perfect. Uniformity is not normal. It is diversity which is normal. Diversity is strength.
I love it. I love it. That is such a powerful line that will help people accept everybody, however and whatever they are. Don't try to make someone else a second version of you. Everybody does not have to be a Xerox copy of everyone. They can be themselves, and that's what makes the world the way it is. Nature is beautiful because there is so much variation.
Of course.
Now, you tell me, how do people become a part of a support group? What is it generally that they are looking for? How do they come to you? How have you met people who become a part of Good As You later on?
Yeah. So, you mean why or you mean how?
I mean how.
Oh.
Like, do you recognize that somebody might be going through something like this, or is it that they themselves approach you? How does it happen?
Right. So there are multiple ways in
Yeah.
which people come to the community. One of the ways, like I did, was to, while searching to either become normal, the so-called normal, or searching for some support wherein you feel alone, and then you search in internet, any community people are there, and on that is, there is self-awareness, some level of self-awareness. I know, I'm struggling through something, I need to reach out to people who are like me.
Yeah.
Okay, but there is very small percentage of that self-awareness. And some people, lot of people get introduced to the community through their counselors, through their psychologists, through their
Nice.
therapists, saying that fine, you're going through this, we will do therapy, but it's time for you to also find people like you and start mingling with them, start talking to them, so that you feel confident. That is another way. And then, of course, introducing friends.
Yeah.
Lot of lot of the new people come because they have met someone through a dating app, and that someone is already part of our community.
Nice.
And then they introduce the new people, right? Yeah, so there are all kinds of ways in which people reach out to us. They come to the events, they come to the things, and that's how they become part of it.
So you spoke about the loneliness that goes through people. Can you describe this loneliness
Within queer community, especially?
Yes.
um
Because there are people,
mm,
there
mm.
are support groups,
Right.
but still there are people who do not reach out, and they feel
Right.
a sense of emptiness and loneliness.
Right. So,
Yeah.
the sense of emptiness and loneliness,
Hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's a characteristic of a queer community. That's something that is there in general in the entire
With
world.
everybody. Yeah.
But the difference is that the people outside the queer community, when they feel alone, when they feel lonely, they have resources to reach out to, and they don't have any barrier to talk about that. Whereas people within the queer community, when we feel lonely,
Yeah.
we cannot really talk to a mom, we cannot really talk to dad, we cannot really talk to siblings. Oh, they'll say, see, I told you, don't go into this path, you get married, you will be not lonely. That's what they'll tell us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so for us, even to speak about our loneliness, speak about our mental health, we need an accepting environment. Right?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of barriers to reaching out that.
Yeah.
Right? And like even the community events, they don't happen every day. There's no every day you cannot go and meet someone. Right? Unless people are in the community and they have made something called chosen family. A lot of us over the years have realized some importance of chosen families.
Chosen families.
Yes. So chosen family is someone whom we are a group of people who reach out to each other on a daily basis. We are in touch in WhatsApp, we check on each other mental health, we check on, so that is how we grow together, right?
Okay, how does this chosen family look like? If
chosen families are mostly friends, like, and in my life, like I have at least some 5 to 6 friends, and like right now, me and my partner, we and my chosen family friends, we live in the same complex. We took houses nearby, so that we are reachable to each other, but not necessarily physical distance. But a lot of chosen families, they have WhatsApp groups where they do video calls every day, they talk to each other. So that is one thing that realize that helps when it comes to loneliness. Right? Apart from, of course, dating, having a partner, etc., but that comes with its own star condition supply. Right?
Well, dating has everybody frustrated, so I don't know what to say.
Right. Why I'm saying this is because a lot of young people, queer people, think that everything is done if they get a partner.
Okay.
Even now they do think. That is not true. That is not true. Everything is not done when you get a partner. You need friends, you need a support system, you need a community, you need to be in touch, if not every day, you need to be in touch with people whom with you can share your deepest secrets, what you're going through.
So what you're saying is you don't need one person, you need a whole group of people in
Right.
order to thrive.
Right.
Nice one.
Right.
Okay.
It's like, they used to say, right? A kid is grown up, its whole village is responsible, not just the parents.
Yes.
It's similar way. I mean, we are no different. We are the same humans who need human connections.
Okay, so if I have to ask you this, as a child, did you feel that you were different, or did that feeling only start seeping in once you started growing older?
No, I always kind of knew I was different,
Oh.
right from childhood. Since I was mostly a nerd, my focus was on studies and grades and things like that.
Engineer ho to, yes, I can
So
imagine.
as long as one is told this is what you have to do, and it doesn't come in that way, it went fine. In the sense, I knew I was different, but I did not have to. I did not have to handle that part of the difference.
Got
At
it.
that, the moment I crossed 20, 21, and then I got a job, then there is like, okay, now next what? Marriage. That's when society tells.
So that is when you strongly start
Yeah.
feeling ki
Right.
there is something
But
not
this is
right.
not
Yeah.
the same with all queer persons, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Because for me, I can pass as a straight person.
Yeah.
There's something called straight passing. We use the word.
Straight passing,
Yeah.
enlighten me.
Means you just go into the society, people think you're a straight person. That's straight passing.
How assumptuous of us, but
Of course.
theek hai.
And then that's actually what do you call it helps to people.
It helps some people because they don't
Mm,
have to sit and justify
exactly.
things like that. Okay.
Whereas someone whose gender expression is slightly different,
Yeah.
the way they talk, the way they act, if it is different,
Yeah.
things are very different right from the childhood. They
Yeah.
get
They're more exposed to mockery and jokes and everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
From the school itself, we have the struggle starts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the struggles are different for different people, even within queer community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that. Okay. So what's one of the most well-meaning thing that you've heard people say that is actually very hurtful to the community?
Settle down.
That's hurtful to me also.
I know. No,
To a lot of people.
but you know what?
Yeah.
Like imagine, like people think that okay, if you're out, you're with your people, you're with someone who
Yeah.
who accepts you, then things won't change. That's not true. Even after I'm out,
Yeah.
even within the queer community,
Yeah.
there will be queer aunties telling me settle down.
Wait, there are queer aunties?
I mean, we
You call them
call
jokingly,
them
okay.
jokingly queer aunties, but
And do they do exactly like the hetero aunties?
I
What
mean,
they
some
say?
do. Come on, yaar, find a boyfriend. What is this? Where you? How many? You just roam around. You just.
They're everywhere, God.
Yes, they're everywhere. So
Yeah.
and yeah. So even allies also, like, they would a lot of times ask, okay, do you have a partner?
Yeah.
That itself puts a lot of pressure.
Right. So how do you see this whole settling down bit? Because this is called Things I Wish You Knew. So this is your platform. Please tell people, how do you feel when someone says that? What's that thing that goes on in your mind?
Yeah, settling down is a myth. What a lot of you think that if you get a partner or if you're married, things are done. That is not true. Ask the people who are married; they'll tell you how many problems they have.
Ask the one who've done it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't end. We have seen a lot of movies where hero heroine get married and then everything is nice after that. That's not true. I
Okay.
think so. That's part of life. Yes.
Yeah.
Some people may want to do it. Some people may not want to do it, and we have diversity in that aspect also. A lot of us do not want a single partner, and even if we want, a lot of us would want it for some time, and we want it in our terms.
Right.
And
Finding love is not easy.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and especially in queer community, desperation to find love leads to a lot of negative consequences.
What do you think is the negative impact of constantly asking someone to settle down and find love and those kind of things?
Yeah, so that pressure, when that pressure to settle down.
Yeah.
So especially a lot of young queer persons that I have seen,
Yeah.
I've talked to, they don't really put an effort to find a community, find find friends.
Yeah.
All they want is, if I get a boyfriend, like queer men I'm talking about, or queer woman, I'm getting a girlfriend, it's done, right? But what happens is, since we are not there as a society yet to accept these relationships, once you get into the relationship, there will be challenges. And two, during a breakup, they will not have any support. So
Because people normally do not really understand this dynamic.
So
and they don't have a community.
They don't
Yeah.
have a community. The breakups are very, very painful.
Yeah.
First, it is painful emotionally. Second, lot of times there is a money gets involved.
Yeah.
You think that you're going to be there with the person for life, so you just half your savings you give to them.
Yeah.
And then later they'll say, okay, bye bye. We don't have any letter or anything to say that you're giving me money. Bye bye. And that is
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times one of the partners get into heterosexual marriages out of family pressures, and the other partner is devastated.
Oh.
And that is very, very, very common, especially people in.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Because you live in a world where you want the family ki naak jo hai.
Correct.
That is so important to people.
I mean, we are living in a world where men ditches the girl because their family
Their
doesn't
family
accept
said
the
no.
girl, right? So
Yes.
so this is like, even
It is the same thing, but this is harder because a lot of the times I think, the pride community, whenever someone finds love, they think this is the one.
Right.
Because in a whole world of
Exactly.
people, you found the one.
Yeah.
And when that the one goes off to someone else,
course.
that heartbreak is a lot
Right.
harder.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing of that one, I mean, we realize after like years of talking to people gone through the stories that there is no the one. You are the one.
Yeah.
For you, you are the one. Of
True.
course, you can get a partner. You can have good life with a partner as long as you wish and things
Yeah.
like that. But running after that, no. And one more important negative consequence is people might what do you call there is this honey traps that happen, and
Honey traps. Okay.
like how honey traps we see in straight world.
Yeah.
Even in the gay world, like we get trapped during in apps. And then
Dating apps.
Yeah,
and things
dating
like that.
apps.
People try to trick
People
them.
try to
Okay.
trick, they say they love you, etc., etc. And once they meet, they come with a bunch of goons. They might attack you, and they might take a mobile phone, things like that. That's very, very common.
True.
And they, why it happens? Because they're sure you won't go to police.
True that.
Why we won't go to police? Because acceptance. We have to come out if we go to police. But that's changing. That is changing. We have, lot of people are now very, they are reaching out to lawyers and community, and then people are helping, the lawyers in the community are helping them to go to police, file FIRs, and those groups, they are very, very targeted groups. They are, lot of them are going behind the bars. But this is like almost once a week we get this news in different city in India.
And what do you think would make this thing better? The whole process of, even if something wrong has happened, to reach out or to get them punished.
Yeah, I mean, education to the police department, education to the people, so that we don't feel afraid to reach out. Yeah, so there are two aspects to it. One is emotional accept, one is the monetary aspect, what they lost.
Yeah.
So for lot of them, go through the confusion and it's a very, very difficult period if they get cheated or if they get attacked. And then they will not be able to trust anyone. They'll not be able to come out.
Yeah.
And things like that. So immediately, they reach out to community, they talk to people. We ask them to talk to the counselors.
Yeah.
And that is like to heal from that that incident,
wound.
That wound. That is one thing, that process. And second thing is about monetary or about getting justice.
Yeah.
That is something that they reach out. There are lawyers available, and then they take them to police stations and get FIRs filed and put the people behind bars. In this whole journey, if somebody is already out to their parents, it's little easy. But
if they're
otherwise, they were like, they would be little because that aspect is still under the basket. They have not
Yeah.
opened that, right?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
family or like, then it becomes very difficult. But through this process, people do get strength, and and then they come out, and then after that, they are butterflies.
I think the butterflies, yes. I think the biggest advantage of having a community or a group of people is this,
Yes.
that when something goes south, you
Right.
have a whole bunch of people who not just will help you, but will also understand the emotional damage that is happening to you right
Of
now.
course, of
Yeah.
course, of course.
Superb. Okay, so now tell me, what kind of fun activities do these different support groups arrange for communities to come together?
Like whatever I talked about so far is like very serious stuff. So, a lot of queer people, especially who want to come to the community, they're like, oh, you know what, I don't want to come and sit and talk about right
It sounds
stuff.
so boring that everybody's just
Oh.
talking. Yeah.
But that's not it. Communities, that's not it.
Yeah.
See, there are so many events that happen
Yeah.
where one can come. Like for example, we have Pride events. Like now, this year, this twice a year it's there. There's a November Pride, and there's a June Pride event that's happening right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a group called CSGMR who does it, and then there's an Insta page where they put the events.
Okay.
And then similarly another group does in November. So you just search in Instagram, you will get. And then this is once in a while events. And another very important thing that I wanted to mention is about film festival. So there's
Film festival.
yes, there's a
Okay.
queer film festival that happens once a year.
Hmm.
Why that is very important for me is that a lot of people don't have time to come and mingle with the community, don't have time to talk.
Yeah.
You just sit for a day, watch series of queer movies.
Yeah.
Okay, just series of queer movies.
Yeah.
Just end of the day, you would understand that you're not alone.
Yay.
Because
Superb. Yeah.
all the characters in the movies, there's different struggles, there's happiness, there is all emotions, all movies are played in that.
Yeah.
So for
Superb.
me, that was one of the very simple thing, like, easiest thing for acceptance.
Okay. When is this film festival happening?
It happens every year. It used to happen in February. Now it happens in August.
Okay.
There are like Insta pages where the film they will announce, etc.
Okay.
This is like once in a while events.
Okay.
And there are also every week events that are there. Like apart from Good As You meeting, which happens offline on Thursday and online on Sunday.
Yeah.
We have Bangalore Front Runners. It's a walking come running group. They meet every Sunday morning at Kaban Park.
Yeah.
So those of us who are early get-uppers can go there, and we
Nice.
have every week 30 to 40 people turn up.
Superb.
Right.
What else? What else happens?
And we have a football group that's there on every Sunday.
Nah.
A lot of queer women, it's a queer women-led group.
Yeah.
And we also have for nerds who read a lot of books. We have a book club.
Book club.
We have
Nice.
queer book club.
Yeah.
And of course, Instagram pages are there and how to reach out and things like that.
Do they have singles, mixers, and things like that? Because love is also a part of this, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So we have parties.
Ah, okay.
Every
You have
week.
parties.
There are different party
Right.
groups who
Okay.
arrange parties.
Okay.
And
Superb.
there are nightclubs. There is no constant nightclub, by the way.
Of course. Yeah.
So every week there is a different place, and then it gets announced. You go there, you pay some money, and
Yeah.
get into the party, and then yeah.
I know it is a Pride community special thing, but can other people join in the party as well?
Yeah, so it is actually written in that whatever when the party group posts that it's written whether allies are allowed or not.
Yeah.
Typically, straight women are allowed.
Okay. Yeah. Men have to work a little harder to earn that right.
Right, but yeah, I mean it depends. It depends on the group. It depends on the venue.
Okay.
A lot of times, right?
Yeah.
So
So sometimes allies are also allowed.
yeah.
You're saying?
No, Pride event. Most of the Pride events allies are allowed.
Okay.
And even walking and that group allies are allowed. So lot of lot of groups which happens in public is lesser about, like support group meetings only for queer
Of
persons.
course, yeah.
So it depends on the event, right?
Right.
So there are so many things happening out there. In fact, whatever I told so far,
Yeah.
these groups have existed for like now at least 5 to 10 years,
Nice.
right? But then, you know, that's not it. You know, the people who are the young queer people, 18 to 20, 21, they have started their own groups.
Oh, okay.
Now there are groups like the average queer person, and you know, and then there are something called PPT parties. I have not gone. For me, it is
What's
new.
a PPT party?
Like I've seen events where, you know, people present PPT, like, you know, they talk about what love means to them or what.
How cute!
So
How cute!
these are young people are coming up with different ways to mingle, different
Yeah.
ways to talk.
Love
So
it.
so there's a whole community out there, especially for younger queer people. I can say that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Things, I mean, just
Things are changing.
you have to put
It's
some
getting better.
effort to be there at
Yeah.
right place, right event, right people. You have to put
Yeah.
some effort, but then, yeah, things are going to be.
Is it safe to say that all of it starts from self-acceptance?
Um, I wouldn't say starts from self-acceptance, starts from you know, self-awareness that now I have to start self-acceptance journey. Self-acceptance is not an event, it's a journey.
Oh, wow.
It's an
Thank you.
awareness
Thank you for
that
that. Yeah.
I have to start the journey of self-acceptance.
Nice.
And when they want to start the journey of acceptance, there are always avenues available.
That awareness that this is something that I need to work on.
I need to
That's where
start.
it's
Yes, yes.
nice.
Because it won't automatically happen.
Yeah.
You will automatically be friends only with straight. I mean,
I don't think that we should. I want to live in a world where I don't have to ask whoever you are, whatever you are. Friendship is always open to everyone.
of course,
Isn't it?
of course. Yeah, yeah.
How can now support groups are always there, but how can family members show their support? What do you wish your family, or if you've seen some examples, how do you think families can show support, can show acceptance? Because I somehow feel that if your family is with you na, then पूरी दुनिया से लड़ लेंगे.
That is very true. That is very true.
Yeah.
I mean, even I see, like, you know, within the queer community,
Yeah.
I can categorize into two types. Okay, those who are like very financially independent.
Yeah.
If somebody is really financially independent, especially cis queer men, cis gay men, cis gay women, they're financially independent. They can afford to not get support from family. Right. But otherwise, the family support is, it actually reflects in their confidence. It reflects in their way of life. Right, family support.
Yeah.
But it's not always easy.
Yeah.
People don't accept that easily, and especially, you know, where homes from the childhood they are talking about your marriage.
Yeah.
Right. And even for trans people, on trans persons, or people with gender variants, you know, who identify non-binary, even their whatever you know, their pronouns to get accepted within the family, that takes a lot of time. And a lot of lot of moms and dads, they reach out to us, and, you know, they say, fine, I am okay to accept, but why society won't accept? I want I want a secure, I want them to be a secure place. So I will rather send them abroad, or, you know, if it is within India, I would rather make them take up a career where they don't have to face people. Right. So of course, family, whatever you said is correct. Family support is, you know, it adds so much value into one person's journey within the queer community. But it's not easy.
It's not easy. But do you wish that families did not really send them away, but rather, you see here, you stay here, you stay with us. Whatever happens, whatever the society does, we are here with you.
Of course, I wish
you can talk to us.
I wish the families, you know. A lot of people don't even come out of families because they already know how the environment in their homes are. Right. Some people come out as young as 15, 16 because they knew that their moms are accepting. That in general, it's not about this issue, right? What do you say when you look at TV and someone comes right in front of you? You pass a homophobic comment, you pass a transphobic comment, you know, you should not come out here. right? You are silencing us.
So the media has a lot of
Yeah,
role to
see,
play in this.
like
Yeah.
like I'm saying, you're a family. You don't even know if your kids are queer. Like
Hmm.
you don't know anything, but you pass judgmental comments when you watch TV, when you read a book, when you read newspaper.
True.
You're actually you're bringing up a negative environment in your home, right? You don't want your kids ever tell truth to you.
So true.
That is what happens in most homes.
It's not direct, but when
Yes.
kids see you react like that to something like that, and then they realize, oh shit, even I'm like this.
Yes, you want your kid to love you. You want your kid to, tell everything that's happening in their life.
Yeah.
That is when the bonds are strongest, both siblings as well as parents.
Yeah.
Right. And one thing I would like to tell is that it's not really educated. A lot of us think that educated parents, would accept. In my experience, that's not the case.
When you told me that there was a conversion therapy in medical science, now I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, even education does not really help.
Right.
Awareness,
Even
maybe.
in my own case, my mom is a illiterate woman, and my dad is a headmaster. It's my dad who took longer time to accept. My mom
you go.
readily accepted.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not really an education. A lot of educated people are homophobic, especially because they think they know everything. And I would urge families, please look at the world differently.
Yeah.
Just because you have a queer kid doesn't mean it's a failure.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's end of life. Doesn't mean that they will not be a successful and happy human being.
Yeah.
It's a part of the variance. It's part of the diversity. Accept the way you are. Accept the way your kids are, and not just about this, even about anything. Create an environment in your homes where they feel happy and confident to share their secrets with you. Nice. Yeah. Right. I think after talking to you, the one thing that I can take away is, as a family, if we do not, even if we don't have, queer kids or relatives or anything, even if we don't have them, we should not be speaking ill of anything like this on TV. If we see someone making fun of them, instead of laughing at it or something, having that awareness ki no, this is not okay. Right. If we start from there, then anyone in our vicinity, when they see ki, okay, this person does not take part in such events, they feel more comfortable to reach out to us. Right. Yeah. So that's one thing. Now I've come to the last question of this interview. You've told me a lot of things, but to sum it up, 3 things you wish people knew about your struggles. Yeah, as a gay man, this is the first thing that comes to mind, because this is something that we have gone through a lot. Yeah. Is that marriage is not everything. When the men marriage, traditional marriage is not everything. That's the first thing. First thing, please accept, right? Yeah. That is not everything. And the second thing is, diversity is strength, and diversity comes in all forms. Somebody may look different from you, somebody may talk different from you, somebody may marry different from you, love different from you, or somebody may have a body that is different from you, right? So that is not a weakness. A lot of people think that that is a weakness, and and then hence we are allowed to make fun of them, and because they lack something. Nobody lacks anything. It's part of the diversity. Yeah. Right? Diversity is strength. Please accept that diversity is strength, and then embrace diversity in all forms. Okay. Right. And third thing is that I wouldn't like people to run after, what the society says, whether it is about money, whether it is about fame, or like why I'm saying this is that even within political families, for example, they run so much after fame. Their queer kids suffer. I have personally met queer kids from political families. They can't even think of coming out, even with so much amount of resources that they have, because they are, if you come out, their party might go for a toss, right? So, the world is right now designed and running in a way that, it doesn't include all of us. Yeah. So, the growth of the world is only when everyone grows, right? Everyone is happy when the resources reach everyone, right? So, yeah, that's what. So, please, rather than running after the so-called success, run after things that will make the world better.
Superb. Thank you so much, Srini, for coming to Red FM, for sitting here, speaking your heart, and trusting me enough to share your story. I'm 100% sure anyone who's listening, whether they are part of the Pride community or an ally, or they are not an ally also, they've all got something to take away. Today, they might not, they listen to this and they might not become a changed person, but you've definitely planted a seed in their head, which is going to grow, and hopefully they'll become better human beings from now on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk. There are so many voices out there like this, which not many people hear, but hopefully, yeah, from now on.
On Superhits 93.5 Red FM, this is Red Adda mere yani Priya ke saath, and we're doing a Pride Month special. Things I wish you knew. If there's something that you wish that people should know about you, your struggles, whether you are a part of the Pride community or not, 9880-935-935 per drop me a voice note and we'll take it from there. Bajate raho.
बजाते रहो